Hello everyone, my name is Will, and this is a Unsteph Love Letter. Get it on! In my last video, I detail why I didn't like the 2010 Hanime High School of the Dead. I said many reasons why I didn't like it. Most of the characters don't matter, the voice acting is bad, the show has no plot, the fan service makes no sense for the show, etc. The only good things I could say about the show were the music, the fight scenes, and the animation. Well, I also said in that video that I didn't necessarily have anything against the show, as I still like some of it, so I had that going for it. I said how I hadn't found a show that really irked me to my core yet, except for My Girlfriend is a Show Bitch. Coincidentally, that is the show I will be reviewing today, so strap in. This thing proves that even good art and animation can't save a bad show. You have been warned. My Girlfriend is a Show Bitch, or Boku no Kanojo ga Majime Sugeru Show Bitch Nake, is a manga written and illustrated by Namiro Matsumoto. The manga was adapted into an anime in late 2017 by Dio Media and Studio Blanc. Dio Media is an animation studio with works dating back to 2007. Studio Blanc, on the other hand, seems to be a younger and less proactive studio, with their first show being produced in 2011, and only 5 other projects after that, with their latest being Vampire Dormitory, which is set to release in April 2024. Without further ado, let's get into the review. The first thing I'd like to say is that the animation and art of the show aren't bad at all. Sure, the animation is a little clunky or primitive at times, but it's not bad by any means. And that's about all the praise you'll hear from me about this show. To limit this rant, I've broken down my complaints into 3 sections. In terms of things in the show that really grind my gears, the plot of the show is one of the main factors. The plot of the show is that a high school boy asks his crush out on a date. She's a beautiful, smart, and independent class leader with lots of popularity amongst the class, but she turns out to be a wild, horny, crazy person that somehow was not noticed until after she starts dating the main character. Coincidence? I think not. The story by itself is fine and all, but my god does it go absolutely nowhere. And I know, anime doesn't need it, nor should it have a plot. Well, I bring your attention to High School DxD, a show which uses plot, and it works. Sure, this anime is supposed to be more of an SOL, but you can still have an intriguing story in one of these. It's like the story writers didn't even try. I've never personally read the manga, so I don't know if it's a book issue or an adaptation issue, but it was definitely an issue of some sort. Another thing that ties into the plot of the story are the characters. Forgive me if I mess some of these up, I only got halfway into rewatching this show for this video before I burnt out, so cut me some slack. The characters they add are really nothing special. There's really only one character that I can say added something good to the story, and that's this red-haired dude. He's nothing super special, but he does breathe a little bit of life into this dying show, although they kinda only use him for gay jokes. There's a character who's legitimately into bestiality, so that's pretty fucking disgusting. Just the cherry on top of the shit sundae, I guess. The jokes in the show are straight up not funny. They're hellaciously repetitive and quite frankly overbearing. You might ask yourself, but anime are supposed to go overboard with these jokes. How can they be overbearing? Well, the plot of the show, which I previously mentioned, is not in and of itself terrible, but what makes it terrible are the repetitive and stupid sexually explicit jokes and innuendos pulled during the show. One of the questions asked is, how did she get perverted at 16 years old? Yes, 16. While her mom was teaching her sex positions and teaching her to read Excite books at less than 1 years old. Despite the fact that it is an obviously serious crime to do this, they play it off as a joke. And the sad thing is, no one who watches this show is probably going to ever bat an eye at this, because the writers know exactly what camp the show is pandering to. The fan service in this anime is blatant and stale. At least it somewhat makes sense where they place the fan service in the show, unlike some anime that I know, and it's not entirely terrible for the first 2 episodes. It's just kind of there, and then you get to episode 3, 4, 5, etc. and go, hey, isn't this the same gimmick that they used 3 episodes ago? Well, you'd be right. I counted 3 times where they straight up use the exact same gimmick in different episodes. This would be fine if they put a little spin on it, but nope, it's the exact same every time. I was completely done with the show by the end of watching it the first time, so it could definitely be an endurance challenge for you. The sub is fine, the voice actors do their job well. Very surprisingly, the dub isn't bad either. I actually feel like they did a good job casting actors that sounded fit for the roles, which is something I can't say for many of my favorite shows. Music is meh. Never liked the peppy and high-pitched J-pop songs for intros outros, so it's not really my jam. The outro song isn't bad though, just not my favorite. This anime is a 1.4 stars out of 5 for me. Unfortunately, good animation and good voice acting can't save you from a bad show, at least not in this case. If you made it to the end of this video, cheers, I'd love to have you here. Make sure to drop a comment on what you thought about this show, and I'll see y'all in the next one. But don't forget, Steph loves you! Also, I'm sick as shit right now.